Discord, so you can watch us from there. Okay, audio's live, video isn't, so you'll know we are running. Let's see if I can. Tweet went out also, so if you want to retweet, you're welcome. We had a tweet go out, so
okay, I will retweet.
And audio's live.
What do you mean the audio is live? We're starting? I haven't keyed up my background
No, just audio. Just audio. We've got a countdown going right now.
Is this on Twitch?
4 minutes. We're on YouTube, sorry, YouTube.
4 minutes. Fun.
We're good.
4 minutes.
You've got the docket with the questions and everything heading in front of you? Okay, so you're all set.
I don't like the 890. Why do I want... What? Art Corp. Art Corp. Area 18. Man, this is my life.
Find a background you want.
Let me see. Good to hear. Let's hope your execution matches your enthusiasm.
And live video feed is in Discord if you want to use that one. That way you don't have a delay.
Okay. Video? Okay. Good. Part.
Why am I not seeing this? Yo, thanks, Pops. Yeah, we're live. I appreciate that. Popped out here. I can see all the lovely people who are here already. Dark Knight is here. Pops is here. Face is here. DK remembered this week. He got up early.
Does that look okay? The video feed look okay for you now?
Let's see what you got here.
Let me know.
Yes, you look great.
Okay, good. Okay, good. How's my hair?
Your hair
What about
is...
my hair? All over the place. Look at this. It's like I work at a pizzeria. That's what I look like. So sweaty. Okay.
CC Creator, welcome.
Where's chat so I can go and harass them on YouTube?
Yeah, YouTube. Go to our YouTube channel. Just go Soul Citizens.
How I feel about harassing chat. A hobby of mine. Never go on YouTube. Like and subscribe, hit the notification bells. Oh cool, we're live. Wonderful. Okay, I see it now.
Got it.
1 minute and 14 seconds. Understood.
Wow, that's a 10-second delay. Wow.
Okay, well that's second. There's Fast Cart.
Ah, FC's here. Cool. And greetings, greetings, greetings. Welcome, welcome, welcome back to Soul Voices. I am Griffin Gaming RPG, and we're back for another great week of discussion with a very, very, very good friend and cool guy in the Star Citizen community. I don't think I have to introduce him because he's very well known in our community, but I'm going to introduce him anyway. And he is Seggellion. Seggellion, how are you?
Thanks so much for having me on here. I'm feeling pretty good today. Griff, how are you?
Dude, I'm doing good. You're already up and working though. You're already doing stuff in the house, right? Why don't you tell folks what you're doing? Because people have asked me if you were going to be doing this. So tell people what you're doing.
So 7 a.m. every Saturday, I wake up and then I start my tomato sauce. It's a 6-hour slow cook in my slow cooker. And then after I finish my sauce, I start working on my dough. I start working on my wheat dough poolish on Wednesdays. It's about like a kilogram. I guess I have 4 pounds of flour and water as a poolish with some yeast in there, and it ferments for Wednesday to Saturday, so like 2 days ish. And then I make my dough on Saturdays 8 a.m. I'm a little bit behind schedule today, and then it sits for another 3 hours. So I just finished mixing it and balling it, and now it's sitting. And then service is going to be at 4 p.m. So if you want to buy a pizza today, Griff, I'll start service at 4.
I wish I could. You know, every time I've watched your stream when you're on Twitch and I see when you have your camera up above and I'm watching you make the pizzas, I'm getting angry because it's like, okay, he's not in Chicago. He needs to be in Chicago. Chicago's Pizza Town. I wish you were here. God, I wish you were here.
Man. You say it's Pizza Town?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Oh, dude, pizza's all over, all types, thin, thick, everything's here. So you would fit in quite well and probably be very well loved and quite lucrative because we love pizzas here in Chicago.
There's not pizza out here on the West Coast, man. And like, I grew up outside of Detroit, and I always thought that area was a pizza town. There's just so many different types of pizza in that area, and like some people try to push Neapolitan a lot, like Italian style pizzas. Then you got Detroit style pizzas, and then I'll tell you, the Hawaiian pizza came from a small southwestern Ontario town. Right? Really? No, you go to the Wikipedia page on Hawaiian pizza, you'll see.
I didn't know that.
They'll say it came from somewhere in southwestern Ontario. It actually came from Chatham, Ontario, but they don't say that. It just says southwestern Ontario. So like I don't know, this is a hot zone for pizza. And like people in Italy, they don't realize, they don't appreciate, but we have a science with pizza making in North America. So represent.
That's true. And I will say this. I mean, one of the things, we have a huge battle here in the Midwest between Chicago and New York. You know, New York thin sliced pizza, Chicago's the thick crust. But I love them all. I love them all. I can dig pizza anyway, and I definitely love pizzas that are handmade. You know, that people put their own kind of thing into it. You know what I mean? Chain restaurants are okay, but I love the individuality of different establishments and different pizza makers. So
everybody does it differently. You know that, Griff? That's what I've learned. I go around in different restaurants, different places, talk to different owners. Everybody does it differently. I don't think there's a right way to make pizza. Ferment it well. It'll digest well. You know, choose good quality ingredients and toppings.
That's the secret. That's the secret. Okay, cool. Well, listen, I want to jump into this a little bit and tell you guys a little bit about Seggellion. I didn't realize it until today. I was getting dressed this morning, and I was trying to think of, what do I say about Seggellion that I know? And I realized, Seggellion, I've known you now. I met you in 2018. It's been 4 years. And I'll tell you how I met Seggellion, guys. I was in Austin. I was at CitizenCon. And I had been roaming around downstairs, doing some stuff, checking out things, feeling things are really cool. And as you guys know, I'm a member of Test Squadron. And so I heard and I knew that Test Squadron had, that year was the first year that they had allowed community people to have a vendor table at the convention. And so Test was one of the groups that had got picked to have a vendor table. So I heard it was upstairs. It was this one little cool area, this little bridge. I said, okay, I'll go out and check it out. And when I go upstairs, as soon as I turn the corner to go in, the first table I see is Seggellion's table. Seggellion at that time, I don't know when you had launched it, but I was so impressed because Seggellion had basically a full setup. Like if you went to a convention and you saw a corporation or a business, he had the backgrounds. He was doing this whole thing for Ultimate Energy. He was dressed sharply in this really cool, like all white glasses, white shoes. I mean, just looking really cool. You had souvenirs, you had pins, You had all types of stuff with you. You had a young lady who was there with you who was assisting. I was like, this is impressive. I mean, this guy has gone like all out. And, you know, you had people who were there dressed up in role play and everything else. But I mean, he brought the theme to him to the convention. And it was really cool because if I'm remembering correctly, Seggellion, that was the same year that CIG brought in the role playing groups for the different ship manufacturers. So downstairs, you had people dressed up for Drake and dressed up for Origin. And so, you know, to see somebody in the community who was willing to commit and really, I mean, 100% there, I was totally impressed. I came over and looked at his stuff, talked to him a little bit. He may not remember, but I do remember that.
Oh, I remember that.
It was very, very cool. It was very, very cool. And I thought about you on the second stage. And the second stage is the fact that finally refueling has arrived in Star Citizen. So, you know, he was talking about it 4 years ago. He was talking about, here's my company, you can hire me. This is what we're going to do. And now he's got it. So just real quick, before we get into the questions, how do you feel now that you know, the vision that you've been kind of looking for is starting to come in tier 0? Yeah, but it's starting to come into the game.
I could talk about this for hours, man. It's really unfortunate you have such a short podcast because I would love to. Like, there's so many stories from that 2018 CitizenCon that, you know, people don't know about. A lot of things behind the scenes. It was it was life-changing experience, man. And like, I wish like Star Citizen will just keep going, keep on beating that drum. And, you know, there's stories that are untold almost, you know, so you gotta have a documentary or something about that. But anyways, regarding the context of fuel, I didn't have any expectations about it. It's like a job for me. This is what I have to do. This is what's expected. And I do that. And now I have an app. You know, one of the reasons why I wanted to come here today was try to shill my app out and to let people know that if you need refueling services, you can go to sos.ultima.energy.
All right, wait. Say that again. You guys write this down. Write this down.
.ultima.energy, like sink or swim. sos.ultima.energy. I'm going to put a link on the main website. They really pulled the rug from underneath my feet by releasing the patch yesterday. Friday is like my busiest day, so I can't do all of these coding changes to the app now to make it live. I just have too much to do. So this evening I'll probably get to it. But, you can run it, you can use it. It works. I just didn't get a chance to add images for ArcCorp yet. It'll still work. But
well, we're gonna put it in this video at the bottom after the show, guys. It'll be in here so that anybody who watches this video gets the information for it, and we'll put it on our Discord too. So you guys support Seggellion. I mean, he's a fun-loving guy, always in good humor, always in good space when it comes to Star Citizen and the Star Citizen community. And man, dude, I'm just happy for you. You're one of the first people we talked about on our show when we saw refueling. I think on one of our shows we said, "Oh, Segellion's going to be happy," you know. So
if there's anything I worked my ass off over the past few years is to try to get traction on developing a brand for refueling, because you know, a big concern of mine. Well, in Canada we have like energy monopolies, and I realize they're terrible things. I don't want another energy monopoly to occur in Star Citizen. So if anything, there's another name out there that provides refueling services that isn't you know who.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you. Yeah.
I love it. All right, gang. Well, listen, we're going to go ahead and jump in. CC, dude, I see your message, and I am so sorry to hear that. Of all the things they would take, right? They didn't come take the Gatorade or something. I am so sorry, man. But, you know, hopefully they'll do a replacement on it, especially if, you know, usually, I don't know who you ordered it from, but hopefully if you put in for it and tell them it was lifted and put in a claim, you'll get another one, dude. I'm sorry to hear that. That is a bit on the heartbreaking side. Seggellion, do me a favor. You mentioned about there's an app and, his video froze, I think.
Did my video freeze?
Oh, no. You're just sitting still. That's all. I thought your video froze. Where can people find your app? Is it the website, or do they go on? Where can they find the app?
sos.ultima.energy. You can hit that up right now. Go to sos.ultima.energy, and you should be queued with where you located at. And you do that. You enter your Discord. Well, you don't. You just need to press a button to log in through Discord. We have to authenticate you somehow. Discord.
All right, fast card.
Then after you do that, you submit that. Go ahead.
No, fast card. If you're on, I know you're on. I don't know if Admiral's here. Can you drop that into the chat for everybody so that folks can get it? Thank you. All right.
It's funny, Jade Star mentions the deuterium thing. I studied fusion a lot because we're supposed to be this energy company, and I'm not an astrophysicist. I'm really a cook and a coder. That's what I do. But I really, over the past 2 years, I tried to learn everything I could about fusion. And the whole deuterium-tritium argument has been ongoing over the past couple of years. And I don't know if CIG has been listening to it quietly, like two people arguing about how fusion is possible or what it would look like in 930 years.
Well,
Interesting, man.
Jade's the person to talk to because she's our astrophysicist. She's our staff astrophysicist with us. So
there you go.
Okay, listen, guys, we're going to jump on in, and we've got actually some really cool stuff to talk about today. This is Seggellion's first time here, so as for many of you, if this is your first time here, what we do on this show is we go and this show is more focused on what the community has to say, what the community's talking about. And so we go to Spectrum, we go to Reddit, we find interesting questions or comments that are there, then we bring them here. We have our 2 cents about what it is. And then if you want to come in and talk to us, you are welcome to. There is a link right underneath the video here on YouTube. If you click on that, it will bring you to the green room, to our queue. And you can come in and talk to me and Seggellion one-on-one if you've got a question or a comment in relation to the topic that we're talking about. And then after that, we're going to do a new segment that we've got. And then we're going to wrap it up. So hopefully you guys will enjoy these questions. And you know, we're really trying to be open to what the community has to say. We know that there's good questions, bad questions, so we don't try to pick on people, but we do try to answer these questions from our own opinion, and hopefully you guys will appreciate that. Let's jump into our first question, which is from Spectrum. The very first question that we have, I'm going to read this Seggellion, and then I'm going to throw the question up on the screen. Okay. This question here, I'm looking at the wrong one. This is like from our very first episode instead of today's episode. There we go. Let me move that over because it's a lot to read. Okay, our first question is, when is enough enough? When is enough enough? And this is by Ace Hearn. And here was the statement. He said, I was just doing my monthly check-in on where Star Citizen is at development. From what I've seen, not a lot has really changed. Ship-to-ship refueling doesn't look bad, but it's completely pointless when we are still in one-star system with stations absolutely everywhere. No, not fussed about seeing some river in the slightest bit. Selling items to shops should have been something in the game years ago, and the only thing that I would actually be excited for is mining gadgets, and that's that they aren't buggy. Salvaging is looking hopeful. That will make it, but to what scale salvaging will actually be, we've got to wait and see. My friend was playing the game yesterday and told me that he still has the bug with the Cutlass Black engines being missing sometimes, which has been in the game now for a good 2 years, which is unacceptable. I really don't understand how CIG is not in deep trouble with the progression of development of this game, and I don't know how Chris Roberts isn't embarrassed about the state of the game and its development. Every part of me wants to see this game succeed and become the greatest game available, but it is beyond a joke in how little changes and how every update is smaller than the last. We are complaining 3 years ago, and we are still not any closer to the game that you can actually put a lot of time in and actually feel like it was well spent. So that's the statement that Ace makes, and he says, when is enough enough? So Seggellion, do you want to respond to this first? Do you want me to take it? How do you want to respond to, if you were answering this person?
It's all about the perspective of what do they call it? Championing this game blindly, almost. Like I feel like we've had this argument. You know, we've had this question countless times. I think it's just there's a lack of education on software development. I'm fortunate that I work for one of Canada's largest software companies, so I really have a good understanding of expectation management. You know, CIG releases features faster than what my employer releases. Like they're much faster. So I can't complain about that. Reality is every technology has a different feature release schedule and things they can release and acceptable capability. You know, just, and you can't teach that to people. Well, maybe you can, but these people have to learn. It's the software industry. It's hard.
Yeah. I mean, that's a good point. It's interesting. I'm going to kind of dissect this one a little bit because they mentioned some points here. Now I kind of want to respond to some of them. They said that they were doing a monthly check-in, which is interesting, and that they felt that not a lot has changed. I do know that when you're in the game frequently, and I don't know, I guess it's a matter of perspective. I know when people stay away from the game for a while and come back, they're like, wow, a lot has changed, right? And then sometimes when you're in there frequently, there is change going on, but because you're so close to the animal, you know what I mean? You don't really see the changes as much. Some of the things that they mentioned in here, talking about refueling being pointless, I think it goes to something you said about people not understanding development. I think that they're looking at refueling in the sense of, oh, when I'm able to jump 3 or 4 or 5 systems, then that's when it's going to be practical. I don't see why it means something when we're all in Stanton. And you just mentioned about the fact that people don't understand what it means to develop something. We don't throw something in the game when everything's in place. We bring it in over a period of time. And the first implementation, right, the tier 0, the implementation is getting it into the game, right? Just making sure that it works before we start saying, does it work? It's 7 systems away, you know. They also talked about that they felt that there were some things that didn't mean very much, like no fuss about the river. I could care less about the river. Any thoughts about why the river might be important in a game, Seggellion, on a planetary?
Oh God, everything they add to the game right now is a test on the network. Everything is about the network. Like, forget about the things that you see. They got to get this network going. Even I talked to the hackers out there. That's their biggest anxiety. It's like, we could produce content, they could produce all these graphic stuff, but they have to invent quantum tunneling in order to achieve the network requirements. So every little piece of content they add is just a way to test the network and make sure the network.
You know, one of the things, you remember the argument when Chris Roberts was talking about the bartender, right? Remember when the bartender came up? And same thing with the coffee vendor, right? It's like, what's the big deal, right? You know, why are they working on that? Why aren't they working on combat, or why aren't they working on this, that, or the other? And it takes all these different elements, because there's no element that's isolated to itself, right? I mean, one thing leads to another. AI predictability, things that AI will do, how they respond, starts with something as simple as the coffee vendor. It may not have been the coffee vendor, right? It may have been the custodian mopping, right?
Sure.
But it has to start somewhere, right? When we start dealing with AI and how AI, and I think maybe people don't know how much that Star Citizen's interactions are dependent upon AI. I think we've been so used to just running around with us and watching AI stand around. They don't understand that when Chris is a 9-to-1 ratio, there's a reason why the AI have got to be on point, why they've got to be 100% to make this game believable. Otherwise, we just see them as mannequins, right? We run past them, we don't pay attention to them. But he wants us to be able to interact, for them to respond, for us to be able to go up to certain ones and find out certain information. That doesn't just happen out of nowhere. It starts with the freaking bartender, right? Something as simple as AI as that. Any other
I don't
thoughts?
think it's simple though.
Right.
We're talking about this whole streaming thing. You know, I don't know if you know Revere from Galactic Logistics, but he's currently building his own version of Star Citizen in Unity right now. And he's talked to me about the complexities with streaming data, like live and then to multiple clients, and how complicated that is. And then like what he's doing is a small fraction of Star Citizen, and you got to stream all of that data. All of that data has to go to the client, back to the server, to other clients within a certain amount of time. And if you can't complete those network requests fast enough, then you get desync and lag and stuff. So, and every time they add something, it's a new type of, you know, streaming methods, new type of processes, because they're all optimized. You know, the streaming type systems or functions they would use for the coffee vendor would be maybe different from the bartender, or maybe they're trying more optimal ways of doing that streaming. So there's so much to it, man. I can't, like, you got to go to CitizenCon, you got to talk to the developers, you got to hear their frustrations in their own mouths to understand the complexities of Star Citizen. Can't get that on Spectrum.
And it does give a different perspective when we do get to meet those people, talk to them, and see where their passion is, and as you said, their frustrations too. There's one more statement that the person says here, and I do want to tackle this one. It says, I really don't understand how CIG is not in deep trouble with the progression of development of this game, and I don't know how Chris Roberts isn't embarrassed about the state of the game. And its
I'd be proud. Would you be embarrassed? Would you be embarrassed, Chris?
Not at all. Not at all.
You had $400 million, successful product, a beautiful wife and kids, and living in Manchester in a
reason to be embarrassed, right?
Fuck no.
Well, you know, here's something interesting too. I mean, it's interesting that we're reading this in light of 317 dropping yesterday, right? I was just talking to somebody yesterday, I think it was Colossal, and he said, man, the game now is really feeling like a game. It's feeling like you're you know, it's actually there. And I'm hearing more and more people say that. And you know, a lot of people said that 317 was going to be the empty patch, right? That there wasn't a lot there. And now that people are getting into it, they're saying like, whoa, there is a lot here. I've heard nothing but great stuff about the patch. Yeah, the PTU was bumpy, but we've had bumpy PTUs before.
It's always that
right,
way.
right, nothing unusual. But here people are like, wow, this is, and this is getting set up for Invictus next month. So that's the other reason why they were trying to get it together. Yeah, there's a lot of reasons why things had to be right now, because with Invictus only a few weeks away, you guys know what happened last year when Invictus came, and the year before. An amazing amount of people who joined the community, amazing amount of funding that came in. So yeah, it was a little bumpy for us old hags and old dinosaurs who've been here a while, but believe me, it's going to pay off during the month of May.
Every patch is a life-changing experience. I've never had a patch where I was like, that did nothing. Every patch has been like, well, fuck, I got to start over again.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what's nice though, Seggellion, and you've been around long enough to appreciate it. At least persistence is there. At least your clothes are still in the inventory when you come back, right? You don't have to go out and buy everything.
I've been living in my Starfare for the past 2 weeks, and I'm serious about that.
I love it. I love it.
And I'm going around refilling other people.
Yeah.
You know, I need water. I need hydration, so I got to like pull over to a rest stop and get whatever while I'm in my transit.
It's so funny you say that. Colossal last night was stacking up his character and said, I'm going out for the road, guys. I'll see you guys later. I'm not coming back. I mean, he was doing the same thing. I mean, to think that we're at that place now where you can go get on your Starfare and just hang out. You don't have to stay at a station or launch out of atmosphere. You can do whatever you want to do. That's cool, man. That is so cool. I'm loving it. Well, listen, we've got a couple people in chat that want to come talk to you. They talk to me all the time. So let's see what they've got to say. I'm going to bring in Pops. Pops in Space was first in line. So,
Pops in Space, how you doing, man?
All right.
Hey, Pops, you're here with Seggellion, man. Go ahead with your comment or your question.
Okay. Now, I just want to say, I think it's absolutely true when a lot of people don't know. And I mean, even, I come from a different background than Dad background. I don't know, but I spent the time to look and understand and find out. And of course, we all want the game, but I'll kind of go here with it a little bit. When you look, let's take mining, and you go mining in other games, you get a pickaxe, you smack a rock, and you gather the stuff, come back with it. The debt that we are getting, it's development. It's these things are not, I'll use a term that it probably doesn't fit right, but it's not plug and play. It's code. Code interacts with other code and messes up. There was a show that you showed us. I'm not going to get the name correct. It was debugging the verse, something similar about the where
Bug Smashers. Bug Smashers?
Yes, Bug Smashers.
Bug Smashers.
Yeah, that was awesome. Mark
Bug Smashers.
Represent.
Right. And you look at where that was, and when I first saw it, I was like, wow, that is so cool. And
I love that show. It was cool.
Yes. They need, well, I'm not going to say they need one thing, because I don't think it's going to make a difference to those people nowadays. But those shows were so interesting. But my suggestion is, if you can dig them up, go look at them. But I think the people that want to be salty want to be salty.
Yeah, that's true. They're just salty people, humans.
Yeah.
No, that's a good observation, Pop. And there is this arc, as we talked about this a couple of weeks ago, there is an appreciation for the development when you've been a part of the historical arc of the development. And I'm not taking anything away from people who've just been around for a couple of years. The people who are around for a couple of years, they don't have the gray hair that I've got. And Seggellion, thank God, he doesn't have any.
I've been getting gray hair since I got involved in Star Citizen. I'm serious. You can't see in the camera. My mom sees me and she's like, "What's happening to you?" Star Citizen, Mom. I'm playing video games.
Yeah, but Star Citizen will give you some gray hair. If you look at Chris Roberts, he'll tell you the truth, because his was all black. He and Eric when they started 10 years ago, and now look at him. But the good thing is that the people who have come in within the last 2-3 years are really able to enjoy where the game is. And I am a little bit amazed when people who have been in the game for a long time, and they still, as Seggellion said, they still haven't gotten it yet. The education's out there. There's plenty of information to explain it. I know we've had this conversation before. The fact that it's alpha is new and different to people. We've talked about why some people think alpha is similar to early access and beta when it's not. Alpha says bugs.
Yeah.
Alpha says bugs. It's not an excuse, guys. Alpha says
mhm.
bugs, and that's just a part of it. And I know people keep saying, well, why are we still in alpha? This is not the first game to be in alpha for 7 or 8 years. There's an interesting, this is what I'm going to tell you, Seggellion.
Do it.
And Pops, thank you for coming in.
Yeah,
I'm going to go ahead and pop you out, and we're going to bring in Kai Zen. Let me throw this at you, Seggellion. There was a great video done by the folks at Info Runners a week ago. I don't know if you saw it.
Yes, Sandy.
With
Mhm.
Sandy.
Yeah, it was
With
great.
Sandy.
And Algorithm. It was the first time I saw Algorithm's face, by the way. I've worked with
Really?
him many times. It was the first time I saw his face.
Oh, yeah. Well, listen, for those of you who haven't watched it, tune into Info Runners last week, the interview with Sandy Roberts. It's only about 20 minutes long. But let me tell you why it's important. They presented a very interesting question to Sandy, and the question was, can you tell us what it was like when Star Citizen got started? FSC, Demon, thank you so much for the $20 donation. Thank you for that. And this is what was interesting about it. Sandy took us back to when she and Chris were talking about it, and a lot of this history we know.
Wasn't that great?
The game was going to be called Star Traders, blah, 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 blah. We
Yeah.
already knew that stuff, right? But,
you did? I didn't know that.
Oh, you didn't know
I was
that?
like,
Yeah.
that's cool.
In fact,
Yeah,
the
I
guy
learned a
that
lot.
started the game Star Traders kind of came out of Star Citizen. He was one of the guys that used to work with them. Yeah.
I
So check this
see.
out. Sandy talks about when the game actually got started. And you guys have heard me say this. I'd never heard Sandy say this before, but you heard me say this, that I believe that the true development of this game started around 2014, 2015. And Sandy said the exact same thing. So if we were to look at the clock and say 2015 to now, technically, it's been 8 years that we've been doing this. And this is not unusual for a game to be in development. Most of the time, you don't know about it. It's something that's being done behind the scenes. We've been given the pull the curtain back and see what's happening. So this is not unusual, the time frame that we are in. So check out that video from Info Runners, guys, because I'm telling you, it's well worth it. We're going to bring Kai Zen in now. Kai's here. Hey, Kai, how are you, buddy?
Hello, my beautiful soul citizens.
How
Kai,
are you?
everybody take a drink.
Okay. If you're saying that.
Yeah. So, first off, Seggellion, love your work. It's
Thank
awesome to see you here with the soul citizens. Griff, you know I love you, brother.
Yes, sir. You too, man.
So, addressing the specific comment made by Ace_Hearn on Spectrum,
Mm-hmm.
my understanding of it, based on what you read out there, was the basic point he was getting at is, why so slow? These loops are taking forever. Enough is enough. Give it to me faster. And here would be my response to that. In the last 6 months, you've seen the death of 30Ks, which means that actual cargo hauling is a real viable loop.
I mean,
You've
hold
seen.
on.
Go ahead. Go
There's
ahead.
some caveats with that 30K
Fair.
stuff,
Go ahead.
but it's better.
Yes.
True.
Yes.
True.
Okay,
Yes.
sorry, continue.
You're talking to a guy who, the first time I started playing, I worked my way up through mining to a caterpillar, filled it up with, was it laranite? On my very first, took off, and about 8 minutes into the flight, 30K'd, all gone. And I was so mad that I stopped playing Star Citizen for like
You
a
gotta
solid week.
Listen,
And then I came
feel
back.
that pain. You have
Yeah,
to feel that pain.
you have
People
to.
don't feel that pain now, and I'm
Yeah.
like, you're soft. You are a soft Star Citizen player.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You are correct, sir. But so in the last 6 months, you've seen the death of 30Ks mostly, which makes an actual game loop of hauling a real viability. You've seen advancements to the reputation system, which makes the idea of doing stuff like bounty hunting have way more branches to make it more interesting and viable in the future. You've seen in 3.17 they just put in refueling. They've got the first step of the salvaging with more to come. They've added in a physicalized inventory so that going bunker busting and taking all of that loot and eventually selling it to your fellow players, and right now selling it to the stores, is a thing. I literally, I'm not even, there's more. And that's like already a half a dozen loops that have just been sort of added in the last couple patches, with more to come, not including the events like Jump Town, which made people millions. And so here's the point that I'm going to say. Ace Hearn, your comment is absolutely true and correct and valid in 2016.
Yeah.
Today, not so much, my brother.
We got something. We didn't have a game back in 2017. Now we have something.
When you get to the point where Star Citizen is like ramping up their loops that are available like 3 times 4 on a monthly basis, to then comment or complain that you're not getting loops fast enough confuses me.
Okay. So, Seggellion, were you going to say something?
I used to, for context, I've always been a cargo hauler. Like that's all I do in Star Citizen. I don't know anything about the combat in Star Citizen. I've only done cargo, so I've memorized the prices, the commodities, and all that shit. So like cargo's in for a real change, man. Laranite's out the window. Forget about the C2. The Hall A is going to be the cool thing.
Yes.
318 soon. 318 soon.
That's cool. That's cool. Kai, thanks for dropping. Oh, go ahead. You get something? Go ahead.
Last thing I'm going to say, and then kick me out and get all the other people in here to comment. Pyro is coming by the end of this year. I'm out.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes,
Mic
sir.
drop.
I love it. I love it. I love it. All right. That's good stuff.
I hope so.
Yeah,
I hope so.
absolutely. Thanks for coming in, Kai. Kai, you know, you're always welcome to come back because I know this next question is going to probably stir some pots here, too.
Oh, let's do it.
Yeah, but let's jump into our second one here. This one's another interesting one, gang. This one comes from Ravel 12. I guess it is Ravel 12. I guess it is. All right, and Ravel 12 says it's time to do away with the fake scarcity and scummy FOM tactics. And this is by Ravel 12. Let me read what they say. Yeah. At this point, hiding ships behind fake exclusivity and artificial scarcity when CIG aren't even producing an actual game is just grotesque. What purpose does said scarcity serve except for deliberately manipulate people into FOMO buying? And for all those who would cite to control the number of big ships in the verse, then I ask why the heck the F7CM or the Constellation Phoenix are time-limited sales. Just open up the shop and let people pledge and what they want for the ship that they like. If people are going to dump hundreds of dollars into the project, the bare minimum effort CIG could put in would be to give them the ship that they want to fly. Seggellion, this fake scarcity, these scummy marketing tactics that CIG is doing. Yeah, I mean, I've heard this conversation before. I've heard people say, you know, at this point in the game, they should just open the doors. I'm not disagreeing. I'm not agreeing. I'm just saying I've heard both sides of this argument that, you know, at this point, people should be able to just go in, look at the ships that they want to buy and buy them. Is there some method to the madness? Is this just something that CIG's just, you know, what they've been doing and they just haven't considered it? You got any thoughts on this either way?
I'm sorry, I might be jaded because like this is business, right? They have to pay the bills. They have to. Here's the thing: the CryEngine people didn't end up paying the salaries of their developers at the end, right? Star Citizen shouldn't have that problem. They got a great business model, very healthy, and I mean they have a very smart marketing team, you know. And I mean this is business. The thing is, there's a lot worse corporations out there than people who sell JPEGs of spaceships. You know, like the whole NFT thing is a whole different can of worms. So. Let the more money they need is more runway. One thing that I think is very unique and we should appreciate about Star Citizen, and you know, don't be a part of Star Citizen if you don't want to, but like this is the infinite feature creep experience, and I am a part of it as like a coder and you know whatever software project manager. I'm here for the feature creep, so let them feature creep. I want to see where it's going to take us.
Yeah, you know, for me, this whole idea. You said something. You said that their business model is good. There are plenty of people 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago who thought that this business model was horrific. They thought that it wouldn't work. Right. They didn't think it would work. They thought it was unsustainable. I even said a year ago.
Everything changed.
I even said a year ago that I thought in 2021 that would be like the peak of where we were at financially, and maybe things might start. I didn't think the numbers were going to do what they did in 2021.
It's exponential. It's all about getting more people. It's like Facebook. Eventually, they'll get the entire population of the planet. They'll be like, okay, let's start selling real estate now after 7 billion.
Yes. Now, let me speak on this thing about fake scarcity and scummy FOMO tactics. Okay. And no, you're good. The problem I have with this is we try to put the blame on CIG. As to the fact that I opened my wallet up and gave them money.
Yeah.
That's
Shame on you.
That's the issue I have here. You may not like it, but nobody makes you open your wallet up. If you've been around long enough to feel that this is fake scarcity, then you need to be smart enough to say, I'm not spending any more money. That's all you got to do. That's all you got to do. Don't spend any more money. Then it doesn't bother you. You say, hey, I put my 200 in or my 45 bucks or my 2,000 bucks in. That's all I'm giving these guys. Then fine. That's cool. Nothing wrong with that. But if you're feeling pressure to buy something, that's consumerism. And as you mentioned, Seggellion, it's business. The marketing people's job is to create this dynamic of, we call it hype to a certain degree. That's one of the words we use. If they just put stuff out there and say, well, it's out there on the website, feel free, and there are no trailers, there's nothing to make us lick our lips, then guess what's going to happen? Nobody's going to know about it. Nobody's going to think anything about it. And like Seggellion said, revenue is what drives this. That's what drives this thing. You have to be able to pay people's, light bills, gas bills, whatever. Where's that going to come from? Now, again, nobody's making you buy anything. Nobody's making you buy anything. So I can't give a lot of validity to this. I can give validity in the sense of that it exists, but I can't give validity to the fact that CIG is making people spend money, because you don't have to do it. And that's just the way it is. And they even reiterate, as much as we hear it once in a while, but they still say, you don't have to spend any money. Just get, and now Seggellion, we're at the point now where almost every ship is in game now, right? You can get any ship in game now. Years ago, maybe you couldn't. Now you can. You can play, earn the money in game, and get the ship you want. So where's the arm twisting at this point, other than the arm twisting that the person's putting on themselves? It's
definitely FOMO. It's 100% FOMO, but whatever. That's just a method of selling. Now we just have an acronym for it in 2022, but it's actually been around for probably 1,000 years. Yes,
sir. Let me bring in, we've got Dark Knight and Fist to Face in. I don't know who got in first, if it was DK or Fist. I'm going to grab DK alphabetically. Yeah, I'm sorry, first. Fist, if you were first, then I'll bring you in next. But we've got Dark Knight 75. And by the way, guys, if you guys want to join us, the link is right there below us. You can come in and give us your 2 cents, give us your thoughts. DK, how are you, buddy?
I'm good. Hey, Seggellion, how you doing, brother?
Greetings. Hey.
Good. So let me jump on this real quick. Griff, Seggellion, you guys made one of the best points. You don't have to open your wallet.
Yeah.
You don't. Nobody's over there twisting your arm going, open your wallet now and buy a javelin. Look, if you can afford a javelin.
I'm going to call up my bank for that one.
I'm going to call it a loan, maybe sell a whole bunch of stuff.
I would never do that. I would never do that.
It's just insane. I mean, if you have the money to do it, good for you. And if you want it, good for you. But I would say that a large portion of us that are in the know and understanding that the money that we are putting towards is for the support of the project. And we are open to doing that. So for the guy here, Ravel, in fake scarcity and FOMO tactics, I would like to ask him, are you holding out for a javelin? Can you actually afford it? It's just like, let me ask that question. It's like, are you mad about the 890 being almost $1,000? Are you willing to drop $1,000 in 890, or are you just complaining for the sake of complaining? Yes, I understand some of these ships are in, specialized sales, but like you said, Seggellion, it's been that way for a long time. Yeah. We have just a name for it. It's just all of these new acronyms that are coming out. Yeah. But that's that is a sales tactic. Car companies do it all the time. We're only going to make 50 of this version of a car.
Yeah. Well, that's it. Let me throw this in. For those of you who don't know what FOMO is, we're talking about fear of missing out, right? Yeah. There's a dynamic that says, and they use the example of like you might put the 890 up for sale, and they say there's only 100 of them. Right. Mm-hmm. Well, it doesn't mean there's never going to be any more of them. It just means that's what's on sale right now. And if you've been around any length of time, that you're going to, at least annually, at least in November, we're going to see that ship come back up for sale. But that's a part of demand. And you may say, I think the person, Dark Knight, said something about, oh, don't give me this stuff about they only want so many in the verse. That is legit. They don't want 1,000 javelins, well, not 1,000, but they don't want thousands of javelins flying around in space because as you can tell, people buy them. Javelins sell out within 2 minutes,
Oh God, seconds. They got those bots there that buy them instantly.
Yes. Rogue Captain Harris, thank you for that donation of $10. Thank you so much, and welcome to the Soul Bro Soul Sis family. DK, go ahead. Was there something else you want to say?
Just to kind of finish off, Jade had put it up there too. most of these ships are available in game.
Yeah.
You know, if you really want an 890, then you work hard for it in game. You know, if you can't afford it in real life, don't get upset. You know, if they put it on a limited sale, you can still get it. It's available in game. You might not be able to buy a Javelin in game at any time, you know, until like way far into the future. Who knows how much that's going to cost if they do put it in game.
Yeah.
But, you know, if you can't afford the ships that are available now, and I almost highly doubt that this guy's probably going to be dropping $1,000 at the next IAE on an 890 because he can.
I couldn't believe how fast they sold out. Hey,
they sold so fast. Oh my god!
A month
they
ago when they went up for sale, they were gone. I couldn't believe that. Like, who the fuck wants an 890?
Hey! Whoa! This is the Origin sponsored show here. What are you talking about?
I mean, I have an 890,
I'm just
but
kidding.
I'm not gonna pay $1,000 for an 890.
Right? You know, if you want it and you want to support the project, that's one thing.
Yeah.
But if you want it just because somebody else has it, that's just on you, man. It's just like if that's your idea of FOMO, I have to have an 890 because my buddy around the corner has one. Then you're wasting your money because I guarantee you're probably never going to fly that thing. You'll probably just get it, look at it, and say, "I got an 890," and then put it up on Spectrum. Look what I got.
Some people want seriously that.
That's
that
it.
fulfills the need.
That
I want to look at it.
Need. Exactly. So
good stuff,
that's
DK.
all I've got to say. That was,
hold on, Griff. I want to add to what DK is saying because, like, you guys talk about FOMO. Nobody talks about the Kraken. I think the Kraken is like the case study of FOMO because when the Kraken came out, it had these waves. And the wave established a special title on the ship. So you had to buy it immediately in order to get that special title. And there was like 6 or 7 waves, I think. And each one was like wave 1, wave 2, wave 3.
Okay.
If you didn't get into that, they're never offering that ever again.
I remember
that's a FOMO right there.
That is a FOMO. And here's another thing. The Kraken privateer is $3,000 Canadian. I don't know what it is American. And then you have the BMM at $300. Same functionality. BMM's got alien tax. It should be 10 times the price, but it's going to be the same ship as the Kraken.
Don't get that.
How does that work?
Don't get that argument going. You'll get Nihilus will start hollering in chat. He'll start hollering. Oh my God.
Nobody talks about the Kraken though, and people should.
No, that's a good point. That's okay. Good point. DK, thanks for stopping in, man. Okay.
Yeah, no problem.
Appreciate
Thank you.
you. All right.
Fun show as usual.
Yes, sir. All right, let's bring Fist to Face in. We're going to bring him in. Fist, how are you? Do we have Fist?
Hey, I'm sorry. I got both of y'all that were talking.
All right. Yeah, buddy. What you got for us today? This is with Seggellion.
Okay. All right. How are you, Seggellion? So here's my thing. I'm going to kind of go in a direction of this because I would like to understand if this guy, if he's mad at CIG, right, for these tactics, then he should be really mad at Sony PlayStation.
No doubt, and Electronic Arts, 100%.
Because I don't know if you guys remember back then when the Sony PlayStation 3 came out. What did they do?
When the 3 came out, I don't remember what they do.
I didn't have a PS3 back then.
I had one. But I remember.
Do you guys remember the limited?
What they do?
You guys remember the limited amount? The limited quantities that were coming out.
Oh
with.
No, didn't know that.
And remember,
the
device itself, and people were at Toys R Us. I remember on eBay, people were selling those things for $10,000.
No way.
Wow.
That's like the whole NVIDIA graphics card RTX thing, hey?
Wow. Right. So they were riding off the crest of the wave of the popularity of the 2. The 3 was coming out, and they hyped it up really big, and people were willing to
remember
pay people money,
were at lines of Toys R Us killing each other over this thing.
Wow.
So if he's mad at CIG for this, then he should be really mad. He should be. I want to see him with a picket sign at Sony PlayStation right now.
Wow.
You hear that, Ravel?
Wow, that's an interesting point. I mean, and we've seen that happen with other consoles too. I mean, when PS5 came out, I had some friends that they couldn't find them, and they were willing to pay crazy amounts of money. So, you mentioned it about the graphics cards, right? I mean, MSRP was like $600-700. But cars were selling for $1,500 and $2,000 at some places. Now we know that there was a silicon issue in relation to that for manufacturing, but you do have to wonder sometimes whether that hype does create this economic drive because people want something. They want it and they won't wait. Right. Now, there are some people, show you the discipline. There are some people who went to NVIDIA's website, for example, and put their name down, and they were willing to wait 8 months or 9 months to get it for the $600 price. Then there were the other people who were like, I got to have that sucker tomorrow. And they went out and paid $1,600 for a $600 graphics card, you know? So, you know, it's the consumerism. I think Seggellion hit it earlier. It's business, it's consumerism, and it's also discipline for people monitoring their own wallets and their own pockets.
I'm before I get out of here, I'm gonna let my dad explain more when he jumps in.
Okay.
But he may mention this, but he used to work back then at Toys R Us, and he'll tell you about the scarcity of the Cabbage Patch doll.
Cabbage Patch.
All right.
Interesting.
All right. Well, we'll get Pops in and get that story from him. Thanks, Fizz, for stopping in, bro.
All right.
We appreciate you as always.
Take care.
Thank you.
All right. We're going to bring in J2 Smalling, and then we're going to jump on to our next topic after this. J2,
What's up,
J2, how are you?
Hey, what's going on?
Good, man. How are you?
I'm hanging in there.
Good. You're here with Seggellion, man. Go ahead.
Yeah, good to talk to you, Seggellion, man. Looking forward to trying some of your pizza one of these days.
That'd be cool. Are you in Canada? Are you in West Coast?
I am not. I'm in New York.
Okay.
Oh, New York pizza, man.
Okay.
New York,
It'll
okay.
be warm by the time
Exactly. I'm a big pizza connoisseur, so you got. There's a challenge here waiting for you.
I'm from Detroit, really, and I make Detroit-style pizza, and I specialize in Detroit-style pizza.
Oh, so we're going to be button heads immediately.
Yeah, some people write off the Detroit-style pizza, but like after spending a real year talking with people about it, it's a complicated device.
Okay.
You know, actually, well, this is going to take us way off topic, but what's the difference specifically? Because I'm familiar with Chicago-style pizza. So what's the difference between Chicago and Detroit?
And there's two types of Chicago style. There's the stuffed crust Chicago style and your regular like round Chicago style pizza, right?
Right.
So I mean, the difference between those two, well, the easiest thing is one is square, one isn't. But I mean, you got to put a lot of emphasis towards burning the cheese on the outside of a Detroit style pizza. Like that is the signature element. So that's not an easy thing to do. You see a lot of people who don't know how to do the pizza properly. They don't burn the cheese on the edges properly. Like it's a lot. You're looking for like a real traditional Detroit style from Louis is like 1.5 inches of burnt cheese. That's a lot of cheese. Yeah. And you bite into that. That's the majority of it. So you got to counter that with the sauce on top and all whatever. You can have a red top if you wanted to. What does that answer your question?
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I was unaware about the burnt cheese part. That's definitely interesting.
Also, here's the secret: the cheese is supposed to come from Wisconsin, and it's called Wisconsin brick, and they just make it in Wisconsin. And Michigan, Detroit pizzerias import it directly from Wisconsin. I mean, Chicago people probably could too, but I haven't seen a lot of that. I can't get it on West Coast, so I get like a simulated version of that. Not as good.
Let's not talk about pizza,
really
guys.
well.
You guys are making me hungry.
I'm sorry. I could talk about pizza for hours. It's crazy.
Yeah, you know, and it's funny because I had a FOMO related story that's somewhat food related too.
Oh, okay, let's do that.
All right, go ahead.
Just recently, Disney did a thing where they had they released Figment popcorn buckets. I don't know if you're familiar with the character Figment the Dragon from Epcot Center.
Okay, yeah.
He's this purple dragon. He's much beloved Disney character. Just less than a year ago, I believe it was like over the summer, Disney released, they had big promotional thing. Now they're selling at Disney World and Epcot Center. You can go there and you get a bucket of popcorn and it's served to you in a plastic Figment bucket. Okay. They announced these things and people were buying tickets to Disney. They had a limit of like 2 per customer. People were going in, buying 2, putting them out in their car, and then going back in to Disney. This is a $12 freaking popcorn bucket. The same day that they were released, they were selling on eBay for hundreds of dollars.
Oh my God.
Well, Disney people are like Disney collectors are a
Disney
whole different
people are nuts.
That's crazy. Yeah,
it does nothing.
But I mean, this is a plastic popcorn bucket.
Wow.
And people were just like animals trying to get their hands on them.
Wow. Let me ask a question to J2 since he's here. I mean, is this just something that is, I mean, I know that this question is focused towards Star Citizen, but is it something that's also maybe a part of what's happening in society? I'll give you an example. We see this similar thing, and I'm not calling this a scummy tactic. I'm saying, but it is something, FOMO, in relation to the NFT wave that we saw happen, right?
Yeah, that's all I think about.
It's like, people, and there is that dynamic of getting in early, you know what I mean? So you can get ahead of something. But is that kind of what's permeating just markets in general? You know, when something is the latest thing, get in early. You know, if you get in early, you can be able to have it, or the value of it will increase. I mean, there's no guarantee to any of that. For a game, there's no guarantee that the game is going to come out. But people have done this. I've been watching these, you know, these games that are going to be released that are supposed to come out, and there's this dynamic of people just, instead of sitting back and waiting, and let's see how the progress is going, let's see how the development is going, they jump in right away. They'll drop $100 down right away because they want to make sure that they're the first ones to get it. I mean, is that just kind of maybe something that's happening in general, not just focused in Star Citizen or just with NFTs?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, it's all of society, and I mean, I've been guilty of it too. You know, I see something new come out, and you know, like Seggellion was saying earlier, the thing about the waves with the ships having that special title on it and whatnot, like that type of stuff will get me freaking every time, and yet I see it. I see it coming from a mile away, and I still fall for it. You know, and it's absolutely, it's not Star Citizen. It's all of society. It's everywhere. You know, it's just in everything that we do, and it's not. I don't like a scummy tactic. I mean, because there's a lot of, you know, connotations that come with that word scummy, and I don't think it's a particularly nice tactic. It's maybe not the most honorable way of selling things, but it is a tactic, and it's a tactic that's everywhere. And honestly, now that I'm thinking about it, I think we had a similar conversation last time I was on Soul Citizens when we brought up the term game changer, and how I saw it on that Doritos sign. You know, it's terms like that. You know, game changer, you know, punching above your weight class. It's, you know, these little marketing catchphrases that catch us, and even though we've all heard these phrases 1,000 times before, and we all know exactly what they mean and exactly what they're leading us into, it still gets us every time. You know,
that's a good point.
They have they've managed the human psyche. They've managed it well. You know?
Yeah, but it's been a process of evolution. They didn't get this in the beginning. They've found this to them. They've essentially invented the NFT almost. They did it before anybody else was.
Yeah, to a degree. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'll tell both of you guys this, and I said this to one of my friends. If they made, I'm gonna pick on Seggellion here. I'm an 890 lover. If they made it so that my 890 could have its own name, which it has, I could customize it to my own paint job. And internals, I'd buy that sucker as an NFT in no time flat. No time flat. I would do it. I would do it.
I don't mind the NFT market.
Yeah, you know, I'd do it. Fine. If it was unique, if it was unique and nobody else in the verse had that ship look the way it was with my name and everything else, I'd have given them some extra money for it. Because in fact, just to show you Segellion's point, some of us did pay extra money when ships came out because you could name them. Remember that when the 600i came out, people paid and wanted it then because you could name your ship.
What's the name of your ship, Griff? Your 890.
Snobs.
Snobs? I get that. I get that.
You know, I do it now. I'm even guilty of it to a degree whenever a new concept ship comes out, because I want, you know, I have a fairly large fleet at this point. Actually, at this point, I have a pretty large fleet, and every ship in my fleet has LTI. These days, the only way to get LTI is in that initial war bond purchase. So every time there's a concept ship sale that comes up, even if it's a ship that I don't really want, chances are I'm going to buy it, and then I'm going to melt it and use that money to buy something that I do want.
And you hang her if you want it.
But I always have that one war bond version in my buyback that I can return to if I change my mind. I've got a ton of ships in buyback like that.
Makes me wonder if there's going to be a shit ton of people that dump a lot of money before the game goes like public or whatever.
You're right.
And just to restore their buybacks.
It's going to happen because they've told us that they're going to give us a warning of when that time comes. And I guarantee you, Seggellion, just like you said, people are going to be freaking like, "Ooh, I got to get this out. I got to get this out beforehand, so before I lose it." Absolutely. J2, thanks for dropping in, man. You always give us some good stuff, brother.
All right,
appreciate
man,
you. Okay.
Have a good one.
You too.
Cheers.
All right, we're going to bring Pops in. I know Pops is going to tell us this quick story about the Toys R Us thing. Yeah, Pops, give us that story real quick. We got to get to our next question. Go ahead.
Oh yeah. Well, first of all, to the scarcity thing, the scarcity is wisdom.
Wisdom.
Okay, it's wisdom. Find out. Find out first. Research. The Toys R Us thing. Yeah, I was manager. We had for the tri-state area. We had 20 rail cars full of Cabbage Patch Dolls for the
20,
tri-state area. So it was something that was created,
Mm.
and they just lived off the hype. And I'll let you guys move on. I just wanted to say that it was
That's
something,
cool.
but wisdom is the tool against scarcity.
You support it. You're all for it.
Yeah.
The scarcer, the better.
Yeah, just hold on to your wallet. That's all.
Yeah. Just do your research.
Yeah. All right,
Do your
Pops.
research.
Thank you, man.
All right.
We appreciate that story. 20 rail cars of Cabbage Patch
That's
Kids.
crazy,
I can't even.
hey?
Yeah, I can't even.
What is the tri-state? What does that mean?
That's new. Was that Jersey? Let's see. Let me get Pops back in here real quick. I'll ask him real quick so he can tell us what
Give us
states.
geography.
Yeah, Pops, hang on. We're
I'm
gonna bring you
Canadian.
back. Pops, what states are those for tri-state?
Tri-state, New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut.
Okay, there you go. All righty. All right, guys. Thanks so much. That was good stuff. Thanks for you guys who dropped in. Listen, we're going to go on to Reddit now. We're leaving Spectrum.
Oh, I
we're
love
leaving
Reddit.
the world of Spectrum.
Thank
to
you.
Go to the world
Reddit's
of Reddit.
where I hang out.
Okay.
And Joe Ryan gives me a hard time for supporting Reddit. Like it's the worst place in the whole world.
I know
or
he's.
something.
You know what? I go there from time to time. Actually, to be honest with you, the Star Citizen Redditors aren't as bad as they used to be. They've moderated them a lot better. So you can go there now. Back in the day, they could be kind of toxic, but he doesn't want you to be. He doesn't like taking too much negativity into that. But you know how Joe runs.
They got the refund
guy.
subreddit for that.
Yeah. Oh God.
That.
Yes. In fact, that's one of our questions. I think actually comes from there. So,
it's from refund.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I think one. Oh no. This week they aren't. Sometimes I always pull one, but this week we're pretty good. So if once again, if you guys want to come in and talk to us, the link is below us. Talk to Seggellion. Segellion's a great guy. A lot of fun, as you guys can see. Question number 1 from Reddit. Let's just jump into that. It's actually not a question. It's a statement. It says Legatus should receive an executive edition 890 rather than a 600 or both.
When is it going to happen?
And that's from James Blonde. Well, here's the deal. Let's explain Legatus to some folks because some people may not know. Okay, way back when, guys, CIG came up with this package called the Legatus Package. And the Legatus Package is basically the package that has every ship in the game. Not every ship. It's got every hangar flare. It's got everything under the sun and all the little perk things, maps, all types of cool stuff. And it price for it when it came out originally was $25,000. Now, that was when it first came out, and that's all there was to it. Later, and by the way, the Legatus package grows over time because as new ships come out, they're added to that, and then the price of Legatus goes up according to those new ships that are added. So just understand that it started at 25,000. I want to say now it's at like 37,000, something like that, or somewhere
48 last time. It was 48. I saw it a couple
nights ago. Are you
nights
serious? Oh my God.
I'm gonna
You're going to check and see? All right. So he's going to look up the numbers for us. So here's the deal. What they gave was this gold and black executive edition 600i. That's what they gave for people who were Legatus. And this person is saying, I think that not only should they get a 600, they should also get an 890. And weirdly enough, Seggellion, check this out. The person actually did a mock-up of an 890. Yeah,
it was sexy as fuck.
It is. I mean, that is very, very cool. I don't know if I'd go Legatus, but I want one. But here's the deal. My question is,
it says 42, 8.
42. Holy smoke.
42, 8. Yep.
42, 8. Yeah, I haven't looked at that package in a
Canadian
while.
dollars, by the way.
That's a lot in anybody's dollars. Yeah. That's a lot of pesos.
So, nice looking ship, though.
It is. It's gorgeous. Now, I'll tell you what my problem is with this ship of Seggellion. It's nice that it's nice on the outside, but it also should have a custom interior as well.
That must be why it's not out yet. They must be doing something special.
Well, it is. No, the ship is out. The 600i executive is out. Yeah.
Right,
but not the 890. Oh yeah, but not the 890. But to your point, they need to make it so that this sucker is lavish outside and lavish inside. They should carry that gold and black theme inside the ship as well. And if they did that, I would love it. I would love it. I love it. So, do you think? Let me ask you this: once you cross the $15,000 mark, you get an executive edition of the F8 as well. Do you think that they should do more for people who've done the Legatus level? I mean, in the sense of like those custom ships, or is this enough? I mean, are those people happy? Maybe those people are happy with what they have. I don't know, but do you think they should give them something more signature? I almost want to say a signature edition, executive edition of these ships. Would that be something cool? Or do you think that, mind you guys, this is outside of my bracket. I'm not in the bracket, so I'm not asking for it for me. But maybe Seggellion's got that much money in the game. He could tell us How he thinks.
Yeah, you're right. I'm in the post 15K, and it just recently, and now it's like the next step is Legatus, you know, and now it's just countdown. I just watched that percentage thing. Every time I buy a subscription, you know, that count gets a little closer. Right. So I'm like, this is just a natural thing that's going to happen.
Yeah.
But like, I do hang around with a lot of Legatus people. Carbon Tales, they have one of the most complete Star Citizen counts in existence.
Yeah.
So they want their 890 black or gold or whatever that is. And then I know a lot of other Legatus, they already think this is going to happen. They're like, oh, it should be coming soon, right? They are expecting it. Hasn't even been announced yet.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think they're doing, the thing is though, like you can't just reward people for spending money. It's cool that you do that. We want to show appreciation, but at the same time, you know, you gotta, the person who's sitting there hitting their F5 button for 4 hours to try and buy a spaceship, that's the person I think that should be commended. They should get an award for that.
Yeah, you know, I agree. I like that they give these little premiums. I wouldn't want them to like have an executive edition of everything. You know what I mean? Like each ship.
Yeah.
But I do like the fact that they may pick certain ships. Like for example, the F8 is a prize ship because of the achievement of finishing Squadron 42. So I get that one. I was surprised that it was a 600i when they first mentioned it, that was what the executive edition was going to be. But it was a cool looking ship. I was like, okay, it's kind of cool. You know, I don't even know if it's the Explorer version or the luxury version. I'm not sure which one that they gave them. 890 I think would be cool, and maybe something else. I do like the fact that these people who have these ships, if you see them in game, it does make a statement for them in the sense of saying, here's a person who really supported the game in a certain way. Some people, but you remember, Seggellion, you were around back in the day when Legatus came out and the gaming community went crazy. People flipped their lids when
nobody will ever spend that much. I will never spend that much. It's impossible. 10 years later. Oh,
and that happen? And there was whale hate. Remember, there was a lot of hate that went toward quote unquote whales. Yeah, there is still some out there. But there was
people don't want other people to have money. It's weird.
Yeah, you know, and I think that sometimes people forget that there are people who they spend this type of money because they have. Let me say this. My feeling has always been anybody who can spend $25,000 on this game is somebody who understands money. Either they're a trust fund baby, or they are investors. They've spent time building their money up to a certain point, and they're not just going to throw their money into something that they haven't looked into, you know, done their own research on, and believe in. Now, that's just me. Now, there may be some people out there who just have money laying around and they just waste it that way. But most of the people I think are people, I think, do you remember, what was the guy's name? Clifford, Miku, AKU. Remember Clifford from back in the day? He had a beard. He was one of the first people that was a really big donor to the game. I think he had given like 50 grand towards Star Citizen back in the day. Really nice guy, but he was also in freaking oil or something. You know, he had some business, you know what I mean?
There's a lot of money out there.
Right, he was making some stupid amount of money. So that 50 grand for him was nothing, you know? So I think you have to look at it the perspective of, is this person somebody who's struggling to put $25,000 in, or are they somebody who just has 25 grand? They've got it, it's no big deal, and they want to support the project, you know?
I wish to defend my own position here because, like, I don't have anything else in my life. Like, I don't have a girlfriend or I don't have a car, and everything
That's
make,
15,000 right there, buddy. Easily.
Everything goes into Star Citizen. I know that sounds terrible.
No, it doesn't.
But I mean, I'm doing amazing things with Star Citizen. I'm really happy. Like, I feel like this is my life, like my life achievement is in Star Citizen. And I mean, that's a good investment. I'm super happy with that. Everyone I know who knows me IRL, they think that what I'm doing is great. So
no, dude, there's no reason to even just put a disclaimer in, because not to be funny, there are a lot of people who will spend $1,000, $2,000 a year in the bar, literally, right? Drinking and pissing it off. And so, drugs. So I'm just saying, you know, if you're talking about, here's something that I enjoy doing, it's my passion. And it's not just the game, it's the community. There's a lot of things that you've gotten out of it over the years that you've been here for. So
totally,
money's well
spent.
Such a
better coder.
Oh, if nothing else,
seriously.
Right? If nothing
Here's
else.
the thing. I don't think people realize, but like all of the wealth of the world, the smartest people in the world are very interested in Star Citizen. We get to hang out with these people. We get to hang out with billionaires. We get to hang out with crack addicts. They're in the same room together. And then we get to hang out with Nobel Peace Prize people and people who haven't gone to high school. They're all in this room together. This is all of humanity. We're all here together.
Yes, that's a very cool point. Very cool point. Okay, well, nobody evidently wants to argue about the Legatus or say that, you know,
We should get the 890 Legatus. If anyone from CIG is listening, we're expecting that from the community.
There you go, the 890. It would be a very cool thing to see in the game. I agree. Okay, we've got one more question that we're going to put, or one more statement we're going to bring up. And this one is Star Citizen picking up popularity again? And this was by Miserable Awareness 7019. This is what he says. He says, I'm also a fairly new player, but it does seem that the game is really becoming popular with a lot of YouTubers making videos for it now. Will we see an influx of new players? Seggellion, any thoughts on that?
You know, when I first started Star Citizen, I did a lot of math. A lot, and I'd made spreadsheets to trying to understand where Star Citizen's going to be in 20 years, like whether I really want to invest in it. That's why, like, I went to LA in 2015 and met with Disco. Like, I wanted to make sure that everything was kosher, because I determined the real problem that they're going to face is the growth of their population, because the way it's growing is almost similar to every other space game out there, and you're never going to get where you need to be. Like, it's not a good business model. But now the world's changing. People are more interested in STEM and in space. So, you know, more people are interested in that. But also their marketing campaign has changed a lot more to be catered for attracting new people instead of selling more ships. So they're trying to bring in more people. And they're doing a whole bunch of new stuff to try and bring in more people, because like the more people that come in, it's like an exponential thing where they're going to buy more ships. So you get 20 people, you'll sell 40 ships instead of, you know, just trying to milk the existing player base. You know what I mean?
Good point. Absolutely.
So, yeah, it's going to get more popular if they keep pushing their marketing, do a good job with marketing. I honestly think it'll go mainstream. If the human race keeps being obsessed with space, I think that this could go mainstream.
That would be very cool. Let's bring Jade down. Jade's here. Okay.
Jade.
Hey Jade, how are you?
Jade, what's going on? Is that you in chat? Are you Jade Star?
I'm Jade Star Watcher. Yeah,
I knew that. I saw Jade Star and I'm like, nah, that's not Jade Star.
Yeah, I should have said something. Sorry.
Yeah, Jade, go ahead.
Yeah, so just to this point, I think two things are happening, and really kind of happened since 2018, but definitely since like 2019, 2020. Both the popularity of the game is growing among people who were space interested, like Seggellion saying, but space has become really cool, and you know, there's all kinds of things actually happening in real life in space, and so people naturally might gravitate towards a space game. But there's also this group of people who flying a ship, that is maybe secondary to what they want. They're seeing Star Citizen as this big universe that they can exist in, a space second life. I've come across people in like Grim Hex on VoIP said they came over from not Second Life, but the other game like it just escapes me right now. But yeah, so like you have people like that. You have role players coming into the universe, and you know, I do think some of that is marketing. I look at the current 317 trailer and I just smile. I absolutely love it. The music, everything, the way they portrayed the game, they didn't overhype it, but they showed, hey, look, this is what you can do now in 317. And, you know, I like that they're reaching beyond what they had initially thought Star Citizen's, you know, audience would be, because if this is going to be the space sim, it could quite possibly be the best ever metaverse. Boom.
Yes,
that's my mic drop.
Jade, we are the same person. I love you. You're fantastic. Seriously.
Thank you. Jade, I love you too.
Thank you.
Yeah, and you know, I'm in Seattle.
Let's go for pizza sometime, Jade.
That's right.
That's very cool. Thanks, Jade.
But listen, I don't think we should call this a game. I think we should call it a metaverse. It's always like, this is one thing I wanted to say in your podcast today. I'm like, I'd really like to just say the fact that it's really not a game. You know, we talk about Kerbal Space Program. It's not a game. It's a simulator. And like, they always talked about it being the best damn space sim. They never said best damn space game.
That's
best
true.
Damn space sim. And we're deficit in Newtonian physics right now, so we can't even have proper orbits. So we have to work on the space sim component a little bit more, and just maybe dial our expectations back in the gamification. Because I mean, with the Ultima system, I'm trying to gamify Star Citizen with the Ultima tech, like the software for Ultima. So like, let it be the community that generates the game, maybe with this sandbox environment.
Yeah. I can truly appreciate. Jade, thanks again for stopping by.
Thank you, Jade. You rock.
Yeah, one of the things that I always dig about this is, and I was a Second Life player, I'm one of those people who do want to be in this world, you know, in the verse. It's not about playing the game per se. And I don't get me wrong, I look at it from the game aspect, but I am trying to step into a different space. You know, this is not the same as when I'm approaching the game that I'm going to show in a few minutes. But it is something that I want to be able to, for lack of a better term, live in, right?
Yeah.
You know, there's an aspect of game, what we call game in the sense of achievements and rewards and stuff. But there's another aspect of it that says, if I just want to get in my ship and go fly somewhere and go stare at a sunrise over a moon, well, where's the gameplay in that, right? Quote unquote, right? Where's the gameplay? No, for me, that's the experience that I want to be able to come into Star Citizen for. Where there are the other people who do want to come in and see how many ships they killed and blah, blah, and that's cool too. But for some of us, it's much bigger and broader than that, because Star Citizen is all that. It's a whole bunch of things to everybody who's a player. So yeah, very cool. Let's get Pops in, and then we're going to go ahead and get to our segment here on our games. Pops, you back? What you got, buddy?
Welcome back.
Yes. Okay. First of all, I'm going to say this. My opinion of when it's going to really take off and pick up, Squadron 42. And I want to ask both of you, you and Seggellion, what are your thoughts when Squadron 42 hits?
I'm going to think about marketing, man. I hope they go balls deep with marketing. I'm serious. Like Grand Theft Auto, they dump so much money on marketing to the point where it's like puking. Like you can't walk down the street without seeing a GTA ad.
Yeah.
I hope we have that level of marketing for Squadron. And then you're right. The top will get blown off. Yeah, for sure.
I'm going to give you my picture, Pops. I'm hoping, you know, CIG has a certain amount of money that's allocated toward advertising. Right? You know, there's a certain amount of money toward development, but they've got at least a $45 million that's set aside for advertising. At least that much.
Not enough, hey?
Right, not enough. Nowhere right now, especially because
another spaceship.
Right? Yeah, for those of you who don't know, when a motion picture is done, a movie is done, they can spend up to 30% of their budget just on marketing. On marketing at all, right? You know? So let's look at it this way, Pops, if I was to respond to that question. I'm like Seggellion. Look at who's in Squadron 42.
Oh yeah.
Right. So who do you reach out to? Where would you put the best ads? I'm gonna tell you where I think the best ads will be. It'll be a Christmas or a May when either there's holidays or Star Wars drop, and you run those trailers in the freaking movie theaters.
That'd be cool.
Wouldn't that be cool? Because all of those people are television movie actors. They're recognizable faces, right?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Who are you going to reach that? You can do it for the gaming community. Don't get me wrong. Put some freaking commercials on YouTube and all the other stuff and Twitch. But listen, you hit the masses where that particular demographic, where all these actors, you got the guy who plays Superman, you've got Luke Skywalker, you've got John Rhys Davies from the freaking Hobbit movies. I mean, look at all these faces that you've got. What's the guy, the general's name? Oh, Gary Oldman. You put those faces up in a theater trailer as a commercial. Oh my God.
100%.
The media would pick it up. People who don't even know about the game would pick it up. There's a whole bunch of folks that I would love to see that happen to. So for me, to your point, Pops, obviously when Squadron 42 comes out, their revenue's driven from that. And let's assume that the price of the game is $60, $45, $60, whatever it is like that. You're going to bring in a tremendous amount of game players just because of that. So there's millions of dollars that come in from that. And they're planned for doing chapters 2 and chapter 3 later on. So yeah, you're right. And that's also why it's important though that game comes out fairly soon. Seriously, because there's going to be a point where the support from this community for Star Citizen is going to start to level off, and that's natural. You know, we may not get the same amount each year, but it'll be a consistent amount of money. They'll be able to put out cost. What do you call those things? What do you call the things that you can put out that just like skins and things like that? You know, that can kind of help support. But eventually, that development of Squadron coming out will be a big boost for them to continue on in not only development but also continuing in the Squadron series. So yeah, that to me that's it. And to answer this question, guys, Pops, thanks for dropping in. I'm going to bring Kai's in, and then we're going to go ahead and move on to the next segment. This popularity, Seggellion, you've been around long enough. I know you watched it happen. This stuff that happened with the folks from Elite Dangerous. So many of them came over and started playing Star Citizen. Then we've got these popular YouTubers who've got millions of viewers watching them, who are now finding out about Star Citizen because the game is, as you mentioned, much more playable. And now they're saying, hey, You guys need to take a look. You got millions of people now who are finding about this game, some of whom have never heard of it. It's not they were skeptical. There are plenty of people who did not hear about Star Citizen, and they've got viewers watching them now too. So there's a lot of reasons why this game is growing in popularity. Let's bring in, speaking of Elite Dangerous, let's bring in Kai in for the last part of this one, and then we're going to move on. Kai, what's up, buddy?
Hello.
Hey.
Wait, you said Elite Dangerous. What is that?
Stop. Stop.
No. So you say, is Star Citizen picking up popularity again? Well, I would say, look at the fact that the funding is on track to break every record that they've ever had. This early in the year, before you even get to one of your first big funding drive, look at the fact that I think that Elite is having some issues, let's say, and let's be charitable and just leave the conversation at that.
Right.
And I think that that is leading to a large amount of influx of players from Elite. I think that Nomansky is doing amazing stuff, which actually only helps to build Star Citizen, in my view, because people hop into Nomansky, fall in love with it because it's such a great game, and you should fall in love with it, and then go, this is great. I love everything about this. What if I had a universe that was a little bit deeper, that had a little bit more of the like hardcore mechanics behind the stuff? And that's just leading people to then Google, like, well, what else is out there that's like more deep, more rich, more whatever? And I think that every person who plays Star Citizen should play Nomansky. I think every person that plays Nomansky should play Star Citizen. I think love them both. I think if Elite figures out its shit, then love that too. I am in favor of just the rising tide just raises all boats.
Can I throw a question to you real quick, because I don't want to lose this, because I want to ask you and Seggellion this question. Because Pops asked this question about Squadron 42. Do you think that there's some timing issues with it launching in light of Bethesda's Starfield coming?
No, because
as a single player, you know what I'm saying? I'm talking about just the single player games here. Go ahead.
Absolutely.
Go ahead.
For exactly the same reason that I just highlighted with Nomansky. I think Starfield, and we don't know enough about it yet, but I pray to God that it will be an amazing success. I hope that it will, and I will love it if it is. And I think that that will do nothing but help to increase the appetite among people that are watching Starlink launches, that are watching SpaceX do amazing things, that are watching what's going on with, you know, the JWST, the James Webb Space Telescope, and are watching all of the missions, and are excited for return to the moon, or excited for the first human footsteps on Mars. Like, I think Seggellion was 100% correct. We are living in a time of increased interest in all things space, and that will do nothing but help to. I want to see Empyrean do better. I want to see. I'm super excited for Flight of Nova, which is a hard score Microsoft flight simulator, but in a spaceship, that drops this month. It drops in May. So in like a month time, it drops in mid-May. I want to see all of these things do well, and I think that how dare you, Griff, for not showing the proper respect to the main stars of Squadron 42, which are Davos Seaworthy and Scully. So I just can't wait until Onion season, because I figured that's the best time to do marketing to hype the Onion Night. I think literally, like, this whole year has been a massive influx for Star Citizen as a project, and of interest of the whole thing. And I'm just loving all of it. All of the new people that are here, welcome. We love you. Ask questions. We're here to help, and let's grow this thing.
Very cool.
I'm out.
Very cool. Thank you, Kai. Man, Kai's always giving us some good stuff there. Starfield, Seggellion, are you keeping an eye on Starfield, the development with that?
But like, I don't really think it matters if a game is good or not. It's all about their marketing budget. So like, look at No Man's Sky. It had a shitty start, right? But they're still kicking. So people say, oh, Star Citizen's not a good enough experience or whatever to go mainstream. I don't think that matters. I think if you have a couple $100 million, you can still sell your product.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And then we are seeing the tide turn. A lot of the money that may have been coming in from the earlier backers, in the beginning, now you've got these new people who are coming in who are excited about the game, and they're kind of replacing, that old money people, right? Because these new people are coming in and they're interested in the game. It is.
I think that's healthy.
It's an amazing balance of how those two things have kind of supported each other. So I think it's very cool. Okay, guys, we're going to jump into a new segment. This is a new segment. I wanted to implement a couple weeks ago, and I was too lazy to put it all together. But Seggellion is going to help me kick it off today.
Okay.
We are doing this new segment called Game Recommendations. Now, we're only going to do this when we have guests on. So, Kai, I'm sorry when you were here, we didn't get to do it. But I am going to do it with Seggellion. And what I do is I ask our special guests who come on if there is a certain game that they would like to recommend to our community. It doesn't have to be space related, but a lot of you guys are into space stuff. And so Seggellion wanted to present one. We're going to watch the trailer for it, then he can talk about it once the trailer's over with, okay?
The KSP.
So yeah. So
I got really emotional. If this is the first trailer, I got by M83. No. I got really emotional.
Okay, I don't know if this is the right one, but let's watch it, guys, and we'll see if Seggellion starts to cry. We'll see.
You got is the audio on?
Yes, it is.
Commentate. Okay.
Well, let's watch it first, then we'll talk about it.
Okay. Best PC game. SpaceX support it, right? That's important for me, I think. True though. Yeah. You gotta watch the first trailer though. It's like something from the 90s. Have fun. I think this is KSP1, isn't it? Did the video switch over? Yep.
Alrighty. Some of you guys know what that is. KSP, Kerbal Space Program. This was the one that Seggellion suggested. Seggellion, tell us a little bit. The trailer I got, I forgot. I actually did have the original trailer, but then I didn't know that there were so many updates to it, so I took one that was a little bit later. Crazy. So maybe you could talk a little bit about that. So you guys, because Kerbal, a lot of us haven't played it in a while, but it is still an extremely popular game, and there's a Kerbal Space 2 coming out. So Seggellion, tell us why did you suggest this one?
I suggested it because the SpaceX engineer suggested it. I'm like, I'm a streamer for video games. Give me some advice. And they're like, you should stream KSP. But I mean, I think I had 1,000 hours in the KSP at that point. And also KSP was like the first game I hit 1,000 hours in. And I realized that is a drop in the bucket as far as KSP is concerned. But I do love it. And I strongly recommend everybody plays it. And I always get my nephews to play it. And, it's so important we understand their physical universe. And the only way to really understand that and comprehend it is by working with physics. This is a physics engine. So learn physics.
Yeah. Now, let me ask you a question. Is it, let's say somebody who might feel a little intimidated, right? Because we say physics, that freaks some people out because they didn't do well in school in physics. But I mean, is it approachable? Is it easy tutorial? Do they walk you through it? How do you feel about that for somebody who may not know very much about Newtonian physics or anything like that?
Yeah, we need these Newtonian physics in Star Citizen, and really it's an interface issue. KSP took a stab at the interface, but what they did really is they took a lot of they took what NASA basically has for their orbital planners and used the same interface for that. And then KSP2 is going to simplify all that. Well, apparently maintaining the difficulty, they say it's going to be more difficult to play KSP2. So somehow they're going to make it simpler yet more difficult in KSP2.
Okay. Well, I have
It's an
to
interface challenge.
I have to admit,
Yeah.
when I watched this, it made me start saying, "Ooh, I got to go back and play this again," because it's been a long time, and I didn't realize there were so many new things added to it, which seems pretty cool. Yeah, yeah.
But this video doesn't really do much justice, I think.
Right.
The
There were
reason
so
why
many
I,
videos. They had different ones with
I
different
know.
things they added to it. And I couldn't like
know.
figure out which one to watch. But go ahead and say what you're going to say.
the sequel trailer though, it got me really emotional because first off, they redid a community trailer,
Mhm.
right? So someone in the community made this years ago, and they redid that. And that was a legit trailer. They got the M83 music.
Uh-huh.
And then what they did is they illustrated all of the pain that you experience in Kerbal, and that's what made me emotional. It's like somehow they captured that feeling of failure, but then trying again, because that's
Right.
what you get in Kerbal.
Right.
Kerbal is not the game where you play and rage quit. You do
Right.
that, you're never going to play it. You have to
Right.
pick up, do it again, and that's what you're
Mhm.
training your brain into, and that's why I think it's good for people
Yeah.
to develop that skill.
Yeah. All right, guys. Kerbal Space Program. That's Seggellion's pick of the week. So if you haven't played it, take a look at it, put it in your Steam wish list, and catch it when it goes on sale. If you've already got it, go back and take a look at it again. It has grown. It has grown substantially as a game. And weirdly enough, it doesn't show its age. This game is almost 10 years old, if I'm not mistaken, if not more.
Yep.
And it's still extremely popular. So definitely take a look at that one. Okay.
That's great.
That's
Technically, I did suggest Ultima first, but that was vetoed. So
Oh, you did?
some other day.
I didn't know
That's
you
what I said
suggested it.
before. It was like UO. Yeah.
Did I? Oh, I must have missed it. I'm so sorry. I would have thrown
no
that in
worries.
first. Okay.
You don't need to though. It's fine. KSP is better, but
Okay.
UO is very important too. So
No,
don't
I
think about
love Ultima. Oh my God. Yeah, don't talk
I'm
about
playing
Ultima.
Star Wars Galaxy. Did you ever play Galaxies?
Totally.
Yeah.
My
so
number
I'm
one.
streaming that on Mondays
Oh,
now.
you're breaking my heart. Oh God. I gotta watch
Restoration
that
3
now.
server. You're welcome to join. You know what's cool about it too is the developers from that server are really supportive about streamers. So they
Really?
retweet all of our stuff and they come in the chat on Twitch and chat.
Oh,
with
that's
us.
cool.
It's awesome. Like the devs are
Mondays.
really involved. It's great.
Mondays.
Star Wars Galaxies Restoration 3
Okay,
server.
I'm gonna have to tune in on you on Monday then. Okay, no, thanks for the heads up on that.
Yeah.
Okay, my recommendation. Oh, Dark Knight is here. Let's see what Dark Knight. I don't know if you might want to comment on yours. Dark Knight, you there?
Oh yeah, I'm here.
Hey.
I got this delay.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't see you pop in there, buddy. Yeah, what's up?
No problem. No, you guys were mentioning games, and I was just gonna mention mine.
Well, you got to mention it, one of the ones we're presenting. You can't present some extra game. You bring it in. All right, I'll tell you what. Since you're here, go ahead and tell us what game you're going to recommend.
Oh, well, it's a sim. If anybody knows me well enough, they'll know that I'm a big simmer.
Okay, wait.
especially when it comes-
If you're going to mention the game, I think you're going to mention. Why don't you save that for when you come on, so you can recommend it then?
Okay.
Is that cool?
We'll do that. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, because I know what he's going to say.
Yeah, you know what I'm gonna say.
Yes. So yes, save that for when you come on, and then we'll do our recommendation. Okay.
Okay.
All
that
right,
sounds
buddy.
good. That
All
sounds
right,
good.
cool. All right, let me go ahead and jump into our next trailer. This is my recommendation for this week.
What is the entry effect? It's like the new No Man's Sky.
Okay, so if you are into building and terraforming a planet, this is PlanetCrafter. I actually stumbled across this as a demo about 4 months ago when it was in demo mode. It just released this past month. Inexpensive. I want to say it was like $19 or something like that. It is no brain. I mean, there's no deep depth brain wise to this game, but it is a planning building game. and you're by yourself. You have to figure out why you got marooned on this planet, and then all of a sudden you find out that you have to terraform this whole world. There are storms, meteor showers, all types of crazy stuff that happened in it. A lot of fun, inexpensive. Check it out. It is not like a super deep game, but it is addictive. You get this thing and you get totally hooked into playing it. So look up Planet Crafter on Steam as well. Throw it on your wish list. I would highly recommend it for those of you who just want something relaxing that you can do, and then you'll realize 5 hours have gone by and you hate when somebody calls you on the phone when you're playing it. So that's Planet Crafter. Okay, that's my recommendation for you guys to check out. So Kerbal Space Program from Seggellion, Planet Crafter for me, and yeah, I think that's about it. We're going to start wrapping things up here. I'm going to let Seggellion get back to his life of pizza making.
Yep.
And I'm going to do a little thing here. We want to remind you guys, thank you guys for coming. Those of you who were here today, who chatted, who donated, thank you all so much as always. Spread the word for this show. Like and subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. I do want to say something before I leave, though. I want to promo tomorrow's show, which we're going on the Van Duel. I told some people earlier that if 17 had dropped, that we would shift to that, but I'm going to not talk about update 17 tomorrow because everybody and their uncle's going to be talking about it this weekend.
That's true.
I'm going to give us a week to digest it because there's a lot in 17. And next Sunday we're going to be doing our review. The Soul Citizens will be doing their review on update 317. So we want you guys to join us for that next week. But tomorrow we're going to be talking about the Van Duel, going into depth, talking about the lore, their background, and our thoughts about our what we know so far as being our biggest enemy in Star Citizen. Seggellion, some people weren't here when we first started.
Yeah.
Would you mind going back over talking about Ultima and your app and give them the location? And mods, please make sure you guys put it in chat so that folks can come visit his site because we really want to support Seggellion.
And another thing I do want to mention is that I'm kind of experimenting with this corporate democracy in Ultima. We're building like the software that we built for the dispatch, so SOS.ultima.energy. That software is done. That's shipped onto the next. The next thing is going to be an electoral system we're building. So if you want to roll in Ultima, it's all about achieving votes and complete democracy in a co-op. So we're doing lots of fun stuff in Ultima, and I don't think anybody else is doing it. It's not just your regular pyramid kind of corporation. I'm a huge fan of what co-op corporations are. I founded my own co-op, so we want to do co-op stuff. So Ultima is just not an org. So check out sos.ultima.energy and get some fuel off of us. Maybe you have the capability of getting it for free, but depends on who services you, I guess, will determine if it's free or not. But you have the opportunity of getting free fuel, at least if you use ultima.energy. And also there's a reputation system built in there. Every feature that CIG hasn't released with Star Citizen refueling, we have in the Ultima system.
Nice.
So I hope to build that up before they can get 3.18 out to have those actual features. So help me help you.
Awesome.
Does that make sense?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
I love it. Segellion's gone deep, y'all. So y'all get in there and support him. He's putting the work in and the time in to support the community. So support him. Errol, thank you so much for that donation and closing us out with that. And we always appreciate you. We appreciate each one of you guys for putting in the time with us on a Saturday. We hope you enjoyed this week's show. And if anything else, you can be here tomorrow for our Van Duel show. And don't forget about next Thursday. We do Soul Talk where Fast Cards our host, and we're going to have another conversation on that because ISC is back. Seems like Jared has got his feet planted in Great Britain and UK, so we're going to be back on the ISC tip again.
He looks tired, doesn't he?
He did, yeah. He looked beat. He looked beat the other day. You can tell the jet lag was definitely there.
Yeah.
All right, gang. Thanks again so much. We appreciate
Thanks
you
for
guys
having
as
me, Griff.
always. Seggellion, you were wonderful as always,
You're
brother. We're going to
wonderful.
have you back again, and I'm going to check you out on Mondays, dude. That SWG, you messed up my head now, man.
It's free, dude. You can get in like 10
I
minutes.
know, Seggellion, dude. I had an org of 200 people. We had our own place on freaking Naboo. We had a city. Oh man, it breaks my heart.
Naboo, hey?
Oh, dude, it breaks my heart. But man, the first time I went to Dathomir, I was so scared I almost peed on myself. It was terrible. Anyway,
you look at it now. It's like, what was I scared of?
What was I scared of, right? The Rancors, all that stuff. Anyway, all right, guys. Thanks again to Seggellion. We appreciate you guys, and as always, peace, love, and soul. We'll see you